The Cheating Death podcast is a comedy podcast that contains information, subject matter, and course material that may not be suitable for all listeners. Your discretion in this matter is advised. On today's episode of the Cheating Death podcast, we have an all-new Annihilation Announcement, a brand new top 5, and an absolutely outstanding view into the world in which we review. With your blessing, guided by your ears, dear listener. Allow yourself to grab a coffee and relax with your favorite blanket and soothe your soul as we begin to cheat death. This is your news anchor, the Cleric of Chaos, and this is your Annihilation Announcement. We, as human beings, walk upon our daily schedule and regimen, trying to do our best to identify what it is exactly we must do to get from point A to point B. Dear darling and departed soul, what you must see is that it is not the destination that matters, for it is the journey. Every step you take, every second you breathe, is another opportunity for you to understand just how beautiful this life is. For as tumultuous and cancerous as the country or domicile in which you reside in may be, understand that you within yourself must gain the strength to fight another day. You must wake and wage war upon that which brings you calamity. There is no instruction guide to life. We are now at 8.2 billion people across this lovely, beautiful plane and understand that we are responsible for ourselves. From the 1950s through the 1990s, that era is gone, destroyed, decimated, annihilated. And understand that we must fight to move forward. This has been your Cleric of Chaos, and this has been your Annihilation Announcement. Willkommen, meine Freunde. Guten Morgen, guten Tag, eine gute Nacht. Ist ein Reisender, dein Ausländer, deiner Cleric of Chaos. And within today's program, we dive into an identification of understanding as to exactly what the Silent Hill series encompasses, how it impacts our minds, and overall, within this episode, not specifically designated towards Silent Hill, but understanding and identifying exactly how we function, how we tick, what makes us move as human beings, what makes us proceed upon our path to perdition. There are no easy answers to this equation. So we must look within, for it is the soul the identification of what we dwell within that creates the reality that you see before you. For it is no secret that the Cleric of Chaos, the individual, the man behind the persona, has a litany of diagnosed and assessed psychiatric debilitations. A litany of diagnosed and assessed physiological debilitations. And it is within this time, dear listeners, that we understand that the human condition is that to what we choose to understand, that to what we choose to provide. For it is within the strength of ourselves that we look to whenever things become dark and dormant. When our minds are incapable of shedding light upon a subject in which we have years of experience, to all of a sudden we see nothing but a dark tunnel. It is imperative that in this time that you understand that it is upon each and every single one of us to dig deep within ourselves, within our consciousness, within our souls respectively, if you are able to reach that point. Dear listener, there is no way to stop the soul, the vessel that is resilient, that is determinate, that is 100% willing and capable to move forward into any hell to which is brought upon their doorstep. But it is imperative that you understand, dear listener, that your choices, your challenges, your direction, and your guidance upon your path is what will lead you to these areas of opportunity. Regardless, dear listener, if you come from an area, an anomaly of a trust fund, or a suburban lifestyle to where you never have to worry about a single dollar, ever in your life. You can go about your daily ventures and purchase and spend as you so shall see fit, but understand that there are many on the other side of the coin who do not possess this luxury, dear listener. For it is imperative for you to note that as luxurious as your life is, and as beautiful as it is to be able to walk into any mall and purchase whatever you may so shall see fit, dear listener, understand that there are a cornucopia, a litany of others in whom walk into the mall behind you at your direct level. Within a 30 to 60 second time span away from your entry into the mall, these other lost souls are going into the mall with the whole soul intention of purchasing a lovely item to add to their modest wardrobe and repertoire. They may make a decision to go into a Blue Notes, or dare say, into the dark recesses of Old Navy to make a purchase that makes them feel as if they were one with themselves again. But it is imperative in this time, dear listener, that even you, as someone who knows better, lets that individual do as they see fit. Let that soul wander and purchase their penance. For it is within this uniquely new domicile of 2025 that all of us, to a certain degree, are pushed with our backs against the wall, Those of us in whom are not capable of moving physiologically or psychiatrically are left to their own devices. Whereas those of you in whom have trust funds and many GICs and sources of securities, you do not feel this pain. You do not feel this burden. And the only time that you will ever experience this burden is when it is outside your doorstep as you peer down beneath your 24th floor spadina and Blue Jays Way condo. Understand, dear listener, that this is not a pandemic. It is an epidemic. It is an epidemic of absolute apathy, of disdain, of misfortune from those who do not understand what life in its totality is like. All we wish to do here at the Cheating Death podcast, despite our obvious accent into North American intrincation and assimilation. The host is very well aware that his accent breeds a cross-border between Aachen and Grunewald and Leipzig, Germany. Toronto, Ontario, and/or Sudbury, Ontario, Canada. But that doth not mean that this soul in whom is speaking to you and those who are producing this program, that doth not mean that we do not want the best for you. No, dear Canadian, dear American in whom is listening, understand that if you do not act, you will be subject to the fall. This has been a very special 54th episode of the Cheating Death podcast, and understand, dear listeners, that it is you that possesses the power to punish those on whom wish to make you perish. Today's joke/quote of the program has been brought to you by both Mick Foley, Mankind, and the Cleric of Chaos. If you so shall wanted me, why did you not want me as myself? Why did you only want me as a vision of your mankind? On today's Top 5, we look at the top 5 guitar brands in North America. Coming in at number 5, we have Fender, of course, for those of you in whom are entrenched to the California dreams. And the Hotel California, this may be a brand that is best suited to you. Coming in at number 4, we have ESP Ltd, one of the absolutely outstanding phenomenon contributors to the metal dynamic that many have undergone. The talent, the skill, the sheer melody of the ESP Ltd is not lost by those who practice metal as an art. Coming in at number 3, we have Gibson, and coming in at number 2, we have Epiphone, for reasons we will get into in a later episode. And coming in at number 1, we are looking at the all-time derivative and an understanding, identifiable, iconic guitar brand. And that, ladies and gentlemen, goes to Ibanez, for whether it be their 6-string or their 7-string metal guitars. The Cleric has been able to soothe souls of savagery with the absolute beautiful instrument in which has been provided by Ibanez. What is your top 5? Email us at the cheatingdeathpodcast@gmail.com. Whether you dwell in the domicile of early 2000s independent wrestling or the current standard to which we have all become accustomed to viewing, note that it is an artistic form, one that has been partaken in by individuals in whom are absolutely and vehemently, ardently supportive of their craft. There will be numerous souls you see in whom you determine to not be worthy of the big time. But understand that each and every single one of those souls has invested money, effort, time, and energy into their product. The very least that you can do is give them an opportunity to shine. Remember, we are pulling for you. We are all in this together. The Cheating Death Podcast has been brought to you by Nach dem Leben, CRDVC, CR Deutschland, Spotify, Google, Apple, and Spreaker Podcasts. You may support the podcast directly by joining our Spreaker Supporters Club at $3.99 a month, or by making a one-time direct donation at buymeacoffee.com/Cleric of Chaos. You may visit all of our linked profiles at twitter.com/WeAllCheatDeath and twitter.com/Cleric of Chaos. And if you or anyone else you know is experiencing psychiatric and or psychological duress, please have them call 1-800-273-8255 or dial 988 from their mobile phone in the United States or Canada. If you or anyone is experiencing domestic violence emergencies, please call 1-800-799-7233. And if you or anyone else you know is looking to adopt a playful puppy or a cute kitten, please visit your local animal adoption rescue center. And with the absolute empirical level of gratitude, we advise you all to follow our producers, our consultants, and our liaisons at the links in the description below. And if you, dear listener, are dealing with your own unique situation, understand that you are listening to a soul who understands your plight. Our show, our platform, is meant to take you to a higher level. If you feel that you are not reaching the level of assistance that you need, email us at thecheatingdeathpodcast@gmail.com.